Public service announcements. They're supposed to teach us important life lessons to not do stupid shit, like drinking and driving. Don't text while crossing the street. Don't shove a fork into an electrical socket. Every once in a while, though, PSAs decide that the best way to get their PSA across is to permanently traumatize people. And here's the thing. Some of these PSAs being tragic works, okay? You get your point across. You don't do the dangerous thing because what you saw on the TV was so scarring. But other times, filmmakers are playing into the tragedy so much that it just becomes absurd. I happen to have a love-hate relationship with PSAs. As someone who's really interested in filmography and making videos, obviously, hello. PSAs are one of those things for me that I just morbidly can't stop watching. It's like a train wreck. But today, I have chosen my favorite PSAs that get increasingly more absurd. Stick with me, buckle up. My name is Melody. This channel's called Melody Ever After. On to the video. Starting out with one of the more serious PSAs, we have Red Banana. The ad is hauntingly simple. A little girl in a room that's pastel, kind of blue colored, is wandering through an array of talking and glowing toys, all while she's being seemingly observed by a group of researchers. At the end of the room, she comes across a red banana and reaches out for it, and then just fucking explodes. What I will say is that this PSA is very, very serious. It is promoting very, very serious concepts. The execution is just a little weird to me. It's very strange. The message of it isn't really inherently clear until the very end when you find out that this is a PSA that was made in Italy advocating against making mines brightly colored. And we're talking about literal landmines here, saying that the bright colors of landmines that are left behind after wars often grab the attention of children, and this is a very real scenario. It's horrible. It's awful. Don't get me wrong. But it's also one of those things where I fail to see what the point of the actual ad is. Like, landmines in general are bad. Maybe we should advocate against landmines because it's cruel. I know war is cruel, and there's no solution here. The messaging is still a little unclear. Next up, we have Mothers Against Drunk Driving's A Perfect Day, which aired in Canada in 2006, according to my research. And you know what? It's short. I'm just gonna show it. And I'm gonna show it, and I need you to tell me if this is as absurd as I think it is.
A perfect day at the lake. There's Ernie fishing off the pier. Kids playing. And Bob and the gang on another afternoon booze cruise.
Impaired boating is impaired driving.
First of all, why is this thing filmed like a bad soap opera? Like, why is the motion smoothing on? Obviously, this is not a funny concept. We actually watched this video in my agriculture class when we were learning about boating safety. I don't know, but I think the absurdity here comes from, I see so many red flags, okay? Why are these kids splashing around in a canoe right next to people who you say are on a booze cruise? This narrator knows that the people in that boat are drunk, and we're still just letting the kids hang out in a canoe. This isn't just PSA, this is just what not to do. Up until recently, a lot of people thought that drinking on boats was not as dangerous as drunk driving because there were significantly less drunk boating accidents than there are drunk driving accidents. And I get this is an important topic, but I feel like there has got to be a better way to convey this message. But like, am I crazy for that? The point of this commercial is to show like a bait and switch kind of thing, the old switcheroo. We have the narrator who's like describing this idyllic, perfect day by the lake, and it turns into this nightmare where kids end up hurt or presumably dead. The way that this is filmed and set up does not give me that false sense of security that a successful PSA does. PSAs usually start very happy and then they turn very dark. This is stupid from point one. We got Bob and the gang, the booze cruising around doing donuts 15 feet from kids in a canoe. I could see it coming from the very beginning. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just a little film snob. Have you ever seen Pulp Fiction? Quentin Tarantino. I just don't know. Up next, we have Apaches, which ran in the UK in 1977. Now, this wasn't just a PSA commercial, this is actually an informational film, is what it was called. It was 26 minutes long, and they showed it to children in schools. Because this is so long, I'm obviously not going to play the whole thing. Also, copyright, I don't know if I can. Released in 1977, Apaches was a 26-minute farm safety film shown to school children as if it was Final Destination Tractor Edition. It's about a group of kids that role play on their family's farms as cowboys and Indians, and they called themselves Apaches, something that deeply aged like milk, okay, I understand. They run around on the farm pretending to play cowboys and Indians, political correctness aside. But one by one, the children get obliterated. One kid drowns in a slurry pit, another one drinks pesticide like it's a Capri Sun, another gets crushed by a tractor. But what makes this ad so weird is that not only does it show the deaths, we spend 26 minutes learning about these kids and their families because it shows them going to the funerals. And I find two things odd about this film. First thing, the kids are like trauma bonded or something, and they don't seem to care when their friend dies. Like, look at their reaction when this kid gets ran over by a tractor. Well, then the second thing that I find weird is all these kids are attending their friends' funerals and they don't seem bothered by it at all. They just continue their little cowboys and Native American roleplay, which is weird to me. Like, wouldn't that take some of the fun out of it if you watched your friend be crushed by large farm equipment? I don't know, I think that would turn me off. Secondly, there's no like helicopter parent moment. We see the parents be devastated by their children's deaths at the funerals, and there's no aha moment. Maybe we should teach our kids about farm safety. They just keep letting their kids play these games. Why aren't the parents stepping in? It's literally like Final Destination. It's nonsensical. And the funniest part is that this was shown to school-age children. Imagine you're 7 years old and you're in maths class and you're watching little Timmy get smashed by a tractor. Like, that's not only traumatic, but I feel like with the dryness and bluntness of British humor, like, I almost feel like this is a joke. Now we've gone from tragically dark to just straight unhinged. I really feel like we've officially crossed that threshold. The next PSA that I wanted to mention is don't boil a kettle on a boat, and I want to just show it to you.
There's too much water in that kettle. And now the lid's on crooked. And that means disaster for this lady. Because she is on a boat. Don't boil a kettle on a boat.
Now, the thing about this PSA is that it was an alleged PSA. Apparently, I can't even tell if it was real or not. Some people swear that this occurred in the 1970s and this was a real PSA. Other people say that this was a 2010s parody film by Michael Spicer. And I guess I'm just not versed in nautical safety because I had no idea why that motherfucker exploded. The idea is that the boiling water overflowed and extinguished a gas flame, which filled up the bilge with gas and it exploded. I feel like that's not the correct order of events. I feel like this has to be parody, but there are people, Mandela effect, swearing that this aired. I don't know. And even the people who agree that it is parody are saying, still don't boil tea on a boat. Still don't do it. So I guess the point still stands, regardless if it's parody or not. Now, this last one was brought to me by the recesses of TikTok. And there are a lot of people, very credible sources, I may add, that say that this unlocked a memory for them and that this actually aired in the 2000s in Malaysia. I'm just gonna show it to you, because it's quite possibly the most unhinged PSA I've ever seen in my life.
Kan aku dah cakap, lain kali pakai tali pinggang keledar kat belakang.
There you have it. We have a young girl flying through a windshield, emphasizing the importance of wearing a seatbelt in the back seat, but because she's a ghost, we don't get a lot of the dramatic gore and blood and scare tactics. It's, in my opinion, just as effective as the really, really dark ones. The message is clear, and we also didn't have to traumatize anybody. So I think that's a win. I love this knockoff of Samara from The Ring, or Ringu. I love that, alright? I think it's clever. I think it's great. It also implies that little possessed demon ghost children have mothers as well. I just think it's such a good concept. Maybe I'm crazy. Okay, so there we have descent into absurdity from the world of PSAs. And I just want to say here, fear messaging works, but also sometimes it works against PSAs. We have some that are effective, like Red Banana, and we have others, like Booze Cruise, that are just kind of goofy. I really feel like some of these PSAs get their point across, but not necessarily in the best way. Now, if you excuse me, I've got a kettle that's boiling in there. You've been watching my channel. My name is Melody. This channel is called Melody Ever After. I do little bite-sized deep dives on eclectic, weird, and spooky topics, so if that sounds like something that would interest you and you are interested in that realm of geekery, maybe check me out. Until next time, I'll catch you in the next one.